live in East Texas, from a pretty little bit of a white trash part of town, you know, like the kind of white trash where your Sunday school teacher and your first kiss are probably the same person. But I grew up that way. I grew up pretty white trash. I was raised in government apartments for the first 5 years of my life, raised by a single mom. She worked like 3 jobs, so she was never there. And this was in the 90s when parenting was more like being beta tested. You know, it was a lot like bowling. You just did it on the weekends and drunk half the time. So, but my mom was always gone. So just whoever was off work at the government apartments, that was our babysitter. You know, my sister and I would just wake up. There'd be a stranger smoking a cigarette on our couch, just like, "You kids ever stripped copper before?" It's a miracle that we did not get molested more. I'll let you guys have that one, okay? I did that joke about a week ago and it did not go over as well. So I just kind of want to bask in the ambiance of the laughter there. So I knew it was a good joke. You guys are good people. That's how I know. That's how I knew. So I'm still a little bit white trash. I've grown out of it a little bit, but you know, I still backslide a little bit. Like anytime I have sex with my wife, her credit score goes down. She's at a 750 right now. Oh no. Yeah, I'm masturbating a lot. So I still do a little bit of white trash things too. Like I still get my hair cut at Walmart, which is an insane thing to do. I do not recommend it. Don't get your hair cut in the same place you can buy condoms and tires and expect it to be good. So the lady that cut my hair the other day was actually going through a really bad divorce. I know that because she told me every single detail. Second I sat down, she was just like, "I think all men should be castrated." How much are we taking off the top? Brenda, put the scissors down, okay? So that is why I've been wearing a hat since Saturday. But being from East Texas is a little bit, it's cool in a way. You know, I'm from a real small town there, like 3,000 people. It's a real country, kind of redneck town, you know. And you can tell because half the population there is legally named Bubba. So, I don't know about you guys. Every Bubba dresses the exact same way, if you've ever seen one. They're all in the same uniform. Overalls, Crocs. Isn't that an outfit that just screams, "Do not check my search history"? So we'll let the FBI do that. So I've never had anybody named Bubba tell me anything worth knowing. And I've got people named Bubba in my family. Like they've never been like, "Hey Michael, come on over here. This is what you want to know about Roth IRA." I've had them send me a picture of a shit they took. It's about as good as it's going to get. So, it's also why you'd never see a CEO named Bubba, you know? So, tell me this, you get on a plane, you take your seat, and you just hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Captain Bubba." That plane will land upside down. Leonard Skinner playing the entire way down, just highway to hell. So, thank you for flying Spirit. So, I didn't date a lot where I grew up in Grand Saline either. It's a little bit tough. Like I said, 3,000 people. You can't really date. It's hard. You know, you go on a couple of dates and you're like, "Man, we got along so well. We have so much in common." DNA. That is what we had in common. And a meemaw, apparently. Still fingered her anyways because I'm a gentleman. So, and my dad raised me right. Okay? That's a Christian raising, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So, another thing I really like about Grand Saline are the doctor's office. My doctor's office is the sketchiest place in town. Hands down. Like it sits between a Boost Mobile and a 7-Eleven. I could get a vape and a prostate exam at the same time. And then 7-Eleven's like, quit showing us your asshole. So, I knew it was sketchy when I walked in and every sign just said cash only. They gave me the same medication for depression as a sinus infection. You know, they're like, you're coughing up mucus? Yeah, Xanax. Clear that right up. I really knew it was sketchy when he took some with me. So let me crush this up real quick for you. So on his prescription pad, it just said snort it. So also got picked on a lot in school in Grand Saline. Obviously, you guys can probably tell because I look like a Blink 182 version of Peter Pan. So, but I got picked on a lot because I was in like theater and I was in band and kids would call me gay for playing saxophone. I did not realize that was a cornerstone of the gay community. In my defense, I've also never had a gay guy come up to me and be like, hey Michael, I like two things. Hard cock, smooth jazz. Never once happened. But I got picked on pretty hard in school. But also, not just because of the saxophone, but because I was a giant nerd. I love Star Wars and superheroes. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man. Hell yeah, give it up for Spider-Man. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. But I got picked on a lot for that. But I also, at an age I won't tell you guys, it is a double-digit age. I wore a Spider-Man costume underneath my clothes to Baylor Hospital, where my grandfather was there dying from a stroke. To this day, I do not know why I did it. But my entire family was there, and none of them noticed. And just to paint you a little bit of a picture, I was wearing a short sleeve t-shirt, just red webbing. The gloves connected to the suit. Like, you couldn't even see my hands. It was just like... But my entire family just didn't notice anything. The person who noticed, the nurse. She just walked in like, Mr. and Mrs. Morgan, we have the lab result. Is your 17-year-old son wearing a Spider-Man costume under his clothes? My mom just looked back at me just like, he plays the saxophone. I don't know what to tell you. Which is why when I graduated high school, I went to the United States Marine Corps. Hell yeah. That's why I do it, by the way, the appreciation. I love it. I feed on it. But I'll end with this. When I went to the Marines, I was like, I want to go somewhere that'll toughen me up, make me a man, you know? And so I wouldn't get called gay anymore. I did not realize I went to the gayest place on earth. Immediately when I got there, they were like, let's go ahead and strip your clothes. You're going to want to go get in this naked conga line with 45 other men that they called nut to butt. I don't have to paint a picture. You guys can imagine that. Literally, you're just kind of this close and you're just kind of walking around. You got your hand right there and you're all praying the same prayer, just like, God, if you're real, please do not let me get hard. So I'm an atheist. Lost my faith in God that day. Thank you guys. You've been so amazing.